Hello everyone. Welcome to the Six Path Weeb YouTube channel. Today, we continue our fanfiction series with part 5 of What If Naruko Was the True Uchiha Heir? Disclaimer. The content presented on this channel is intended solely for entertainment and discussion purposes. I do not claim ownership of any anime footage featured in this video. All rights and credits belong to their respective creators and copyright holders. Let's dive in. A disturbance before the match. Just before the start of the first match, a loud boom echoed from the village gates. Naruko felt a momentary daze but quickly broke through the illusion cast upon her. Her senses sharpened as she leapt aside, narrowly avoiding a swift strike from a familiar sword, one she recognized instantly. "How did you break through my genjutsu?" Naruko asked, calmly landing on her feet. Kushina stood tall, watching Naruko with a faint smile. "You really think someone could hide from a village filled with expert sensors?" she said. What she didn't mention was that the Nine Tails had quietly revealed Naruko's presence to her son, Menma. A bead of sweat rolled down Naruko's temple. She had lost the element of surprise. "I've been waiting to settle this," Kushina said, twirling her sword with grace. "And this moment couldn't be more perfect." Naruko analyzed her surroundings. Though many other battles raged nearby, all her attention remained fixed on Kushina. A grin tugged at her lips as the ground trembled beneath her. Suddenly, numerous chakra chains burst upward, wrapping tightly around her body. From afar, Mina, cloaked in camouflage, watched in awe. "Mother is incredible," she thought. "You underestimated me," Kushina said with confidence. These chains once held the mighty Nine Tails. She could feel Naruko's chakra being suppressed, though she was impressed by how much of it there was. A low laugh echoed from within the chains, catching the attention of nearby shinobi. "Your mistake," Naruko said with a calm intensity, "was comparing me to the Nine Tails." In an instant, her chakra surged. A brilliant light burst forth as Naruko activated her Susanoo, completely shattering the chains around her. Gasps filled the air as the towering figure of the Susanoo appeared, glowing with strength. With precision, the Susanoo raised its sword and swung at Kushina in a fast, clean arc. She hadn't expected it, but just before impact, a large red hand intervened, stopping the strike. Naruko crossed her legs and floated calmly within the protective shell of her Susanoo. "I was wondering when you'd stop watching and start participating," she said. The Susanoo began to evolve, developing more definition as its power grew. Kushina made her move, launching upward and preparing a technique to break Naruko's concentration. "Your second mistake," Naruko said, opening her eyes, "was fighting me unguarded." "Tsukiyomi." Kushina suddenly found herself in a tranquil but unfamiliar field. She quickly realized she was tied to a wooden post. Surrounding her were countless Naruko clones, all wielding swords. "This is the power of my eyes," said one of the clones. "You're about to experience the world's strongest illusion." A loud scream echoed across the battlefield as Kushina dropped to her knees, caught in the genjutsu's grip. From high above the arena, Minato sensed his wife's distress. With a flash of golden light, he appeared beside her. Mito and Menma, having just finished their own battles, arrived shortly after, alarmed by their mother's condition. Naruko watched them arrive. A flicker of nervous energy stirred within her. "Fourth Hokage," she whispered, watching as they disappeared in another golden flash. Suddenly, a large presence appeared above her. Acting quickly, Naruko dispelled her Susanoo and vanished. A puff of smoke revealed a massive summoning, a gigantic crow beneath her. She and Minato locked eyes across the battlefield. The stadium had seen heavy damage, and fallen enemies were scattered across the ground. "You don't want to do this, Hokage-sama," Naruko said calmly. "This war has just begun. Let's not escalate things further." Minato gave a wry smile. "While you've been talking, I've already placed thousands of chakra tags beneath you." With a signal to his Anbu, the plan activated. Naruko smirked. "Those tags shine like beacons to me," she thought. She prepared to retreat, but before she could move, Anbu surrounded her, and a purple barrier rose, sealing her inside. She attempted to summon her Susanoo again, but it was too late. A blinding light enveloped her as the explosion triggered. Later that night. On the Hokage monument, Minato stood tall as he addressed the crowd. "Today, the hidden leaf has once again shown its strength and unity." The cheers of the villagers roared in response. Minato raised two scrolls into the air. "Naruko Uchiha and Orochimaru have been officially declared enemies of the village." The crowd erupted in louder cheers. He handed out flak jackets to the newly promoted Jinan and vanished to check on Kushina, who had regained consciousness but would need time to recover. Meanwhile, at a training ground, Saren and her friends reflected on the day's events. So, Naruko is really gone, Sakura said quietly, shivering slightly. Shikamaru frowned thoughtfully. What we really need to focus on now is the Akatsuki. Mina, still dealing with the day's emotions, finally snapped. They're after my family, not you. Don't worry about it. We're a village, Mina, Saren said gently. We protect each other. You don't have to face them alone. Mito clenched her fists. It's because of your brother that our mom got hurt. Saren's expression turned somber. If that's how you feel. Fine. But I won't forget what you just said. She turned and walked away with Sasuke silently following her. Ino shook her head at Mito. She just lost someone important to her. That wasn't the time to be so harsh. She left with her team. Mina also vanished, lost in thought. Something about Naruko still lingered in her mind. Menma simply sighed and disappeared as well. Deep within a hidden cave. At the time of the explosion, Naruko's heart raced. Everything seemed to move in slow motion. Her eyes stung until she shut them and suddenly felt herself reappear somewhere far away. She looked down to see her hand missing. Asura? She thought. A warm voice echoed in her mind. I'm sorry, Naruko. I used the last of my strength to teleport us away. With great effort, Naruko focused her chakra to stay conscious and stop the damage from worsening. She looked around and realized she was in an old cavern, one once used by Madara. Using her chakra, she summoned a clone of Zetsu and asked it to create a temporary replacement for her hand. This will work for now, she thought. Only someone like Tsunade could truly help me heal. She knew the temporary fix would vanish if Zetsu did, and she had no intention of keeping him around for long. I need to get new eyes soon. And go to Uzushio. Minato won't catch me off guard again. Tears welled up as she wrapped her arm in fresh bandages. Why does it always feel like I'm losing the ones who guide me? First Madara, then Itachi, now Asura. She stood in the dim light, her spinning Mangekyo Sharingan casting a gentle glow around the cavern. No more weakness, Naruko whispered. One day, the world will remember the name, Naruko Otsutsuki. Naruko is 18 now, and the Akatsuki is on the move. Minato stood atop the cage tower, gazing out at the horizon. A sky filled with shinobi in flight signaled serious concern for the safety of his village. Anbu, initiate code red. The village is under attack. It appears the attackers are shinobi from the land of the sky, Minato announced calmly, though concern flickered in his eyes. Tensions among the villages were escalating. When the Akatsuki captured Han, the host of the Five Tails, Iwagakure demanded Konoha contribute some of its elite shinobi to replace their lost strength. However, when Konoha refused and pointed out the risk of manipulation, both Iwagakure and Kumagakure ended their alliance with the Leaf. Minato strongly suspected they had ulterior motives, perhaps the intent to acquire a valuable bloodline from Konoha. He had no hesitation in declining their request. Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed throughout the Hidden Leaf village. The enemy forces had breached the outer defenses. Minato took a deep breath and pulled out a three-pronged kunai, ready to protect his people. Hokage's mansion. Mito groaned and pulled a pillow over her ears, irritated by the blaring alarm, until realization struck. The village is in danger, she exclaimed, jumping out of bed. She quickly donned her Uzumaki battle gear and dashed toward the village center. Meanwhile, Saren sighed. Her peaceful meditation had been interrupted. From behind her, Sasuke activated his Sharingan with a serious expression and took off, Saren right behind him. As they reached the village, they noticed Mito exiting the Uzumaki compound. Though they had spoken in recent years, some lingering tension still hung between them, remnants of past misunderstandings. The entire village had mobilized. The fourth Hokage summoned a large toad to aid in the defense, as his Flying Thunder God technique was proving ineffective in mid-air. Sasuke activated his Susanoo, its shimmering form towering above the battlefield. Saren hesitated, lacking the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and the stability that came with it. With the massive Susanoo on the field, the remaining Sky Shinobi began a tactical retreat. Yeah. You better leave. Menma cheered, arriving slightly late to the battlefield. Every Jonin or heir, report to my office immediately. Minato's commanding voice rang through the village. Hokage's office. Nearly all the high-ranking shinobi, those not out on missions, gathered in the office. As you all saw, the shinobi from the land of the sky are becoming increasingly aggressive. Before their interruption, I received an urgent message from our allies in Sunagakure. Their Kazekage has been taken. There is only one group known for such daring operations, the Akatsuki. A hush fell over the room as images of the mysterious Akatsuki members flashed through everyone's minds. I considered sending an Onbu squad, Minato continued, but today's attack proved the village's safety is too important to risk further. Jiraiya has confirmed that the Akatsuki work in pairs. We need a small, capable team who can both rescue an elite ninja and face formidable foes. Hands shot up immediately, Menma, Mito, and Sasuke among them, eager for the challenge. Minato observed them thoughtfully. Though he knew he should personally choose the mission team, today's events had made it clear, only the most willing and confident should go. Everyone except Sarin, Sasuke, Menma, Sakura, and Mito, dismissed. The others respectfully exited the room. Minato tossed a folder to Sasuke. Your team captain. Team Sasuke, you'll rendezvous with Team Might Guy, then proceed to Sunagakure to assist in any way necessary. The selected team wasted no time, each carrying an emergency travel scroll. As they approached the village gates, Mina and Hinata were waiting. Stay safe, and teach the Akatsuki a lesson, Mina said with a bright smile and a thumbs up. She had her hands full with her own Jinan team and wouldn't be joining them. Menma. Be careful, Hinata whispered, her cheeks tinged with a rosy blush. Menma smiled gently and gave her a reassuring hug. Don't worry. I'll always come back to you. Hinata nodded, her heart warmed by his words, as she watched the group depart. Outskirts of the village. Team Sasuke met with Team Guy, consisting of Guy, Lee, Neji, and Tenten, who were already waiting outside the village. After a quick mission briefing, the united team set off, their destination clear, Sunagakure. Their mission was simple but challenging: support their allies, uncover the Akatsuki's plans, and, above all, stand strong together. Suna. Once they reached the village, the team was met by a tearful Tamari, who quickly explained the situation. So the two Akatsuki members involved are Deidara and Sasori. This works out, I can focus on Deidara. His clay-based techniques won't escape my Sharingan. The rest of the team can handle Sasori. I'm confident Sarin will do well, Sasuke thought as he calmly developed a strategy. Alright team, we need to move quickly. They've likely already started interfering with Gaara-sama's chakra, Sasuke informed them with urgency. Wait! A voice called out. The group turned to see an elderly woman approaching. I'm coming with you. I have a responsibility to face Sasori, Lady Chiyo said firmly. No, Lady Chiyo, you shouldn't, Tamari protested gently. Sasori has changed. He's not the same person anymore. I must try, Lady Chiyo replied with quiet determination. Tamari sighed, knowing there was no stopping her once she had made up her mind. The team followed Gaara's chakra trail until Sasuke held up his hand, signaling for them to stop. A faint smile crossed his face. Deidara, your clay constructs stand out too clearly to my eyes, he muttered. Everyone, spread out, Sarin shouted just before a massive burst shook the forest, leaving a huge crater in the earth. Laughter echoed through the trees as Deidara emerged, standing atop a gigantic clay bird. You're not getting away that easily. Sasuke called out as he leapt into the air with his curse seal activated, slashing at Deidara with his sword. Deidara narrowly evaded and plummeted toward the forest floor. Sasuke landed atop the clay bird and looked back, watching as the rest of his team pressed forward without hesitation. Suddenly, a pair of hands formed from the clay beneath Sasuke and grasped his feet tightly. An instant later, a blast ripped through the air, sending shreds of Sasuke's clothing fluttering to the ground. Deidara chuckled from a distance, proud of his ambush. Enjoying the show? He called playfully. A crackle of lightning signaled Sasuke's response, as his Chidori surged and struck straight through where Deidara had just stood. But Deidara had already swapped himself with a log and created a new clay bird to ascend again. Alright, that's enough, Deidara said, irritated. I was saving this for someone truly strong. Looks like I found the right challenge. Within seconds, Deidara body transformed into a colossal figure, an exaggerated version of himself, created entirely of clay. You're about to witness my ultimate creation. The C4, he declared, as his new form began to glow. Sasuke's eyes widened as the dazzling white light expanded outward. Thanks to his Sharingan, he could see the fine particles racing toward him, consuming everything in their path. He sprinted with all his speed to escape the spreading cloud. Just when it seemed like escape was impossible, a vortex appeared beside him and pulled him in. Sasuke blinked and looked around. He now stood in a dark room, unfamiliar and quiet. A figure in the shadows spoke calmly, "Sasuke Uchiha. Nearly defeated by Deidara. Impressive though he may be, someone of your skill shouldn't have been overwhelmed." "Who are you?" Sasuke asked, cautious but curious. "I am Madara Uchiha," the voice answered, before another vortex appeared and whisked him away just as mysteriously. Sasuke exited the building. It was a small hotel in a village not far from where the incident took place. He shook his head. That couldn't have been the real Madara. Minato once fought someone claiming the same, but he wasn't nearly strong enough to be the legendary shinobi. Without hesitation, Sasuke focused his senses. "Time to find my team," he said, launching himself toward a large chakra signature he felt in the distance. Elsewhere, deep within a forest clearing, broken puppet pieces littered the ground. At the center lay Gaara, unconscious but alive. Lady Chiyo was resting beside him, utterly exhausted. The group had arrived just in time, though a complex sealed boulder had slowed their progress. When they finally made it through, they found Sasori perched silently above Gaara. Menma, incensed at the treatment of another Jinchuriki, confronted Sasori without hesitation. The battle was swift, Menma's speed and strength far outmatched Sasori's techniques, and the fight ended decisively. Lady Chiyo, remorseful for her past actions in sealing the one tail into Gaara, used a special jutsu to share her life energy and restore his vitality. It was her way of making peace with her decisions. Shortly after, Sasuke rejoined the group. Together, they returned to Suna where they received gratitude from the villagers and recognition for their efforts in recovering their Kazekage. Having completed their mission, the team made their way back to Konoha. Team Sasuke, reporting in from the mission, Sasuke said to the gate guards. A squad of Anbu promptly arrived to escort the group to the Hokage's office, where a full debrief awaited. Team Sasuke, debrief, Minato commanded, concealing the relief he felt that all members had returned safely. Sasuke stepped forward to explain the mission details. After him, Guy gave his account of their confrontation with Sasori. Minato opened his personal mission journal and marked off 2 entries. "That's 2 individuals neutralized. Well done, team," he acknowledged. "I'd love to grant you all a longer break, but something important is unfolding. Take the rest of the day to rest, but all shinobi ranked Chunin and above are required to attend a meeting tonight," Minato informed them as he dismissed the group. Later that evening, Hokage's office. The Hokage's office buzzed softly with chatter. Chunin and higher ranked shinobi filled the room, quietly wondering about the purpose of the emergency meeting. Kushina sat calmly with a small child on her lap, Nato Uzumaki Namikaze, just 2 years old. His blue eyes sparkled with curiosity, and his hair shimmered with blonde and violet streaks, a lovely blend of both Minato and Kushina. Silence. Minato's voice rang out clearly, instantly quieting the room. He looked around at the many faithful shinobi of the village, proud of how they had worked over the years to earn the title of the strongest village. "As many of you know, we recently had an unexpected incident involving the village in the sky. One of our guests from a prominent family was harmed," Minato said, allowing a moment for the gasps to subside. "She had come to visit and meet a member of the Hyuga clan for diplomatic reasons. Due to this, both the daimyo and the council have decided that we must respond. Our village will be engaging in a coordinated mission regarding the village in the sky." The room echoed with murmurs of determination. Many were eager to show their loyalty to the village. Minato continued, "Strategy teams are currently preparing. In a week, you will receive detailed instructions. If you have flight-capable summons," he said while looking at a few Uchiha shinobi, "please report to my office tomorrow. We'll need your help with transportation. The Yamanaka, Hyuga, and Uchiha clans are also working together to recreate flying equipment so we can travel efficiently." He concluded, "Use this time to train and sharpen your skills." Meeting dismissed. As the shinobi exited, Minato rubbed his temples, feeling the weight of responsibility. "You seem tired, Minato," Kushina said with a gentle smile, sitting beside him. "We still have Nato here," Minato said, flushing a little, realizing the room had been cleared of Anbu. "Well, Mina-chan already took him home for the night," Kushina reassured. Minato exhaled, grateful for a moment of calm. Akimichi Restaurant. The Konoha 15 sat around a large table, some visibly excited, others more thoughtful. "What do you all think about this mission?" Hinata asked softly. "I'm ready to show what I've got," Kiba said with enthusiasm. "Let's stay focused," Ino replied, brushing her blonde hair behind her ear. "We don't know much about their village. It's in the sky, meaning they have an advantage we haven't faced before. When they visited us, their approach lacked structure, Shikamaru said thoughtfully. It suggests they might not have a strong intelligence division. Still, we shouldn't underestimate them. They may have unknown defenses that we're unaware of, Shino added. Their ability to remain airborne suggests a steady energy or chakra supply. We'll be able to sense large chakra sources, Neji said confidently. Though he wouldn't be joining this mission due to other responsibilities, everyone respected his position as Anbu commander. The Hyuga clan had recently removed Neji's seal, honoring his accomplishments. No time to waste, we must train to bring honor to our village, Lee declared passionately, dashing out to begin his workout. One by one, the others left to prepare. 1 week later, forest outside the village. Minato stood at the head of a formation of 500 shinobi, his cloak fluttering in the wind. Today's mission is to explore and neutralize the threat posed by the village in the sky, Minato announced. Leading the mission are Sasuke Uchiha, Kakashi Hatake, and Menma Uzumaki Namikaze. With a golden flash, Minato vanished, returning to the village to safeguard it in case of any opportunistic movements by rival territories. The shinobi equipped their flight tools, channeling chakra to activate them. Those using summons stood behind Sasuke. The squad split into 3 groups, each led by one of the commanders. In a matter of hours, they arrived beneath the floating village, their hearts beating with anticipation. Sasuke and Menma's teams will approach from opposite ends. My team will examine the structures and act as support, Kakashi instructed. Sasuke and Menma shook hands, nodding with mutual respect, before leading their teams into position. The peaceful atmosphere quickly changed as movement from above signaled they had been spotted. They knew we were coming, Sasuke observed as his team landed atop Crow Summons. A shimmering purple barrier surrounded the central tower of the village. Shinobi from the village in the sky zoomed toward them on low-flying vehicles. Perfect. A challenge will allow us to show our strength. Sasuke activated his Sharingan and summoned his spiritual guardian form. Leaf Shinobi, move forward. He called out, and the 2 groups met in mid-air. We need backup. They're approaching from both sides. A Sky Village ninja exclaimed. A large mechanical figure emerged from the center of the city, controlled by someone with wild eyes and a manic grin. Let's see how strong you really are. The person in the machine shouted as it powered up and released a beam of energy. Sasuke reacted instantly, strengthening his protective form. The blast struck, and a trail was left across the battlefield. When the smoke cleared, Sasuke stood, unharmed, thanks to his chakra armor and Anbu gear. That machine is stronger than expected, Sasuke muttered, realizing he would need to rebuild his guardian form step by step. He looked around and saw that most of their efforts were being blocked by the Sky Shinobi's protective armor. It's their defense system. That's what's stopping us, Sasuke realized. With resolve, he summoned a perfected version of his guardian, equipped with a brilliant sword of chakra energy. This ends now, he said calmly, preparing for the next phase of the confrontation. The machine's pilot smiled, clearly eager for the challenge. You're not ready for what I can do, the person declared. The 2 giants met, clashing mid-air, each struggling for dominance. Sasuke's clone technique helped deflect another blast. 9 versions of his perfected guardian appeared, 8 charging forward to engage the machine directly. We'll find a way, Sasuke thought, watching his teammates carefully maneuver through the battle. We just need to figure out how their armor works. The battle had only just begun, but the shinobi of the leaf were ready. Suddenly, every Konoha shinobi heard a voice through their earpieces. Any shinobi unable to use Sage Chakra, please retreat now. The Sky Shinobi's armor is extremely resilient and can only be countered by Sage Chakra or S-rank techniques. Menma's voice calmly instructed. Many shinobi quickly retreated while the Sky Shinobi gave chase. Sasuke, focused and composed, instructed his shadow clones to keep Hiro at bay while he meditated. I can't hold this state for long, Sasuke thought, his eyes glowing with intensified energy as his Sharingan spun rapidly. He opened his eyes to find himself surrounded by 3 towering mechanical constructs. Hey, Hiro said with a smirk, the special clones your village tried to keep hidden are now in our control. Now, you can choose to walk away or stay and challenge us. Sasuke calmly rose within his Susanoo. Above the village, a cloud had formed. A bolt of lightning descended and connected with the hand of his Susanoo. While you were trying to be considerate, I was calling the storm. It's been interesting, Hiro, Sasuke declared as his Susanoo surged forward toward Hiro. Susanoo, radiant Chidori. The mechanical titan's defense system opened, but the Susanoo's empowered hand pierced through. Just then, something clamped down on it. "I've got you now, Uchiha," Hiro exclaimed triumphantly. But suddenly, the environment started to shift. He had been caught in a genjutsu. Too late to react, Hiro returned to reality only to realize Sasuke's technique had landed after all, damaging the core of the machine. "Seems your machines aren't invincible. The moment you made eye contact, you were already caught in my illusion. Don't worry though, I won't be the one to deal with you further. I'll leave that to Anko," Sasuke said calmly. He then used lightning chakra to overload Hiro's systems, rendering him unconscious. Sasuke summoned a messenger crow to safely transport Hiro back to the Leaf Village for containment. Soon after, the clones created by Hiro charged at Sasuke, eyes blazing with focus. 5 minutes, Sasuke thought, preparing himself. "I wonder how serene sage-powered Amaterasu looks," Sasuke murmured with a smile. "Amaterasu," he called, as dark flames surrounded 2 more of the robotic machines, swiftly disabling them. A booming sound echoed in the distance. Sasuke looked over to see Menma in a glowing 9-tailed form, swiftly dismantling large groups of robots. Before Sasuke stood a formation of 100 sky shinobi. With a single sweeping movement of his Susanoo, they were pushed back in a synchronized wave of impact. Saren and Menma landed beside him as Sasuke's sage mode faded. "Sasuke, Saren, you should go ahead. I can maintain sage mode longer, and with the help of my sisters, I'll handle the remaining machines," Menma offered. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. "Leaving comrades behind is never an option, Menma. Remember that. Besides, Saren and I have enough chakra for more S-rank techniques." Menma sighed as Mito, Mina, and Sakura joined them. "We cleared the perimeter. Now it's just the center remaining. I'm ready to get cleaned up after all this chaos," Mina said, wrinkling her nose at the grime. Sasuke and Menma nodded, dashing toward the village center. Sakura transferred chakra to Sasuke, allowing him to re-enter sage mode just in time. 10 more robots dropped down in their path, but they were swiftly disabled with efficient teamwork. Inside the palace, a figure swirled a glass of juice in his hand. "Activate the prototype," he ordered calmly. Within him stirred an energy source. "Let's finish this quickly," he thought, as the barrier collapsed, a result of Menma's efforts. "Prepare my armor. Everyone," Mito warned, "I sense something approaching. And its energy is even greater than the 5 tails." A massive robot, towering 10 times the height of the previous ones, stepped forward. It seemed to operate independently. Sasuke and Saren summoned their Susanoo. Saren's, though strong, hadn't reached its final stage. Menma summoned an even larger force, the mighty QB, and stood atop it, now in his toad sage form. "You all continue ahead. I'll take care of this one. Promise I won't take long," he said with a confident smile. The group pressed forward, but Mina remained to support her brother. As they neared the palace, the doors opened and a figure with wild black hair appeared, wearing the same distinct armor. "You've managed to undo years of work," the man said without anger. "But I am different from the others. I'd say the only one who might rival me is Minato Namikaze." Sasuke's eyes widened as his sage mode flickered out. The man suddenly appeared before him. "Sasuke!" the girls cried. "Greetings. I'm Shino," the man introduced, gently striking Sasuke, sending him back through nearby structures. Sasuke lost consciousness from the impact. Chakra chains erupted from the ground, wrapping around Shino. Mina was on one knee, focused, her expression intense. Shino smiled. Electricity surged around him. Gate of Wonder. Saren's expression turned serious. This man just bested Sasuke. And opened the 7th gate. "Mito, Mina, we need to end this fast." Sakura carefully carried Sasuke to safety. Saren summoned a Chidori. Mito formed a Rasengan. Mina used her chains to hold Shino in place. Shino remained calm, not flinching even as their hands phased through him. He gently pushed the girls back, breaking the chains with ease. He moved swiftly, touching Mina with a soft strike that caused her to fall back momentarily. All 3 girls were nearly exhausted, staring up at Shino, who now laughed with glee, though not unkindly. 3 of Konoha's most promising warriors, all at once. Impressive. A calm voice broke through the moment. "Is picking on others really that exciting, Shino?" The girls looked up to see a newcomer, a graceful figure with silver gray hair flowing past her shoulders. She wore traditional Uchiha armor and carried a fan-shaped weapon on her back. Mina, even through the pain, thought she looked noble and composed. "Naruko Uchiha," Shino said, now intrigued. "A pleasure to meet you." With speed and ease, Naruko intercepted Shino's move, halting his advance with one hand. Suddenly, a loud boom echoed, the Kyuubi's form had vanished in the distance. "Looks like the surprise I left behind worked," Shino said, hopping backward. He formed a dark orb and lunged toward Naruko. The moment he connected, her form disappeared in a puff of smoke, a clone. Meanwhile, Shino's prototype robot appeared beside him for protection. "I've learned a lot from watching your team," Shino said. "You're fast, but you can't break through this armor." Naruko's eyes sharpened as a dark armored Susanoo formed around her. "Let's test that theory." The prototype launched a beam. Naruko swiftly deactivated her Susanoo and appeared in front of Shino, striking with a lightning-infused blade. The figure dispersed, another clone. But Naruko had already spotted the real Shino. Amaterasu. Dark flames chased Shino as he dashed in zigzags to evade. Rain began to fall gently, and thunder rolled overhead. Lightning release, heaven's breath. A bolt of lightning surged from above. To keep Shino still, Naruko summoned her own chakra chains and secured him in place. A brilliant flash followed. Naruko exhaled slowly, the storm passing. She could no longer sense Shino's chakra. Down below, many believed the lightning was Sasuke's doing and cheered. Just then, an immense chakra presence filled the air. The clouds parted as a massive object descended. "Tengai Shinsei." A voice echoed as a vast stone descended from the sky. Naruko looked up and nodded. She saw Saren nearby, picked her up gently, and summoned a giant bird to carry them. "Please. Don't take her." Menma's voice croaked from behind. Naruko glanced back at the exhausted figure. "I can care for my sister, Menma." With that, she soared into the skies, her bird calling out in triumph. Menma collapsed, just as someone caught him to prevent his fall. Saren groaned softly as she fluttered her eyes open. A gentle wave of confusion washed over her, everything was blurry, and she quickly realized her eyes were covered. She reached up and gently removed the bandages, squinting as soft light filled the room. "Where am I?" she thought, looking around the unfamiliar space. She sat up on the soft bed and glanced at her messy outfit. A clean set of clothes had been carefully folded and placed nearby, a sleek, dark Onbu-style uniform tailored for a kunoichi. She smiled faintly, silently grateful for the thoughtful gesture. After a refreshing shower and changing into the clean attire, she stepped out and wandered through the calm, beautifully arranged house. A faint signature of chakra caught her attention, and without thinking, she followed it, her Sharingan activating out of habit. She carefully opened the door and gasped when she saw a familiar pair of crimson eyes. "And Naruko? Is that you?" she whispered, recognizing her long-lost sister. Konoha, Hokage's office. "So, let me get this straight," Minato began with a serious tone. "You infiltrated the base, encountered armored shinobi enhanced with technology, and were only able to stop them with sage chakra. Then, a powerful figure, an Uchiha, appeared, helped you, and left with Saren. And Sasuke is not present because he went after Saren on his own?" "Yes, Hokage-sama," Kakashi confirmed respectfully. "Should I dispatch an Onbu unit to retrieve Sasuke?" Neji offered, kneeling. Minato shook his head. "There's no need. Sasuke is capable. Once he returns, I'll assign him to a full month of D-rank missions as a reminder of protocol." The room went quiet as several shinobi shuddered at the idea. "You're all dismissed," Minato announced. Menma lingered behind. "Father. I believe I know who the mysterious Uchiha is." Minato's eyes narrowed. "Go on." "I didn't want to say anything earlier, but I'm convinced it was Naruko Uchiha. She protected Saren and mentioned we weren't capable of doing so. Her appearance, her eyes, it all fits." Minato's face turned thoughtful. "Onbu," he called. "Let it be known across the land of sky, Naruko Uchiha has been sighted. She's no longer missing." "You survived after all," Minato thought. "We'll find you soon enough." Unknown location. "Your eyes are stunning," Naruko said kindly, offering a gentle smile. Saren's cheeks turned pink as she looked at her sister, barely believing what she was seeing. Naruko's eyes had changed, still like the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, but now with a distinct lightning bolt through the center. Naruko handed her a mirror, and Saren gasped softly at her own reflection. Her Sharingan had evolved, delicate petal-like patterns spinning gently in her irises. "I made you some breakfast," Naruko said warmly. "You've been resting for nearly a week, you'll need your strength." Sarin, feeling a mixture of emotions, hugged her older sister tightly. "I thought you were gone," she whispered. "Now that you're here, we can go back to the village. We can be together again." Naruko gently pushed her back and shook her head. "You and I both know things aren't that simple. You haven't been happy in the village for a long time, and I felt it when you were fighting. Stay with me." Sarin frowned. "That was because I missed you. Now that you're back." "Let's eat," Naruko said quietly, ending the conversation. "We're heading out soon." Sarin sighed and followed the aroma of food to the kitchen, where a warm bowl of beef noodles waited. She happily enjoyed the meal. Naruko entered, now dressed in pristine white battle armor. A black headband with the Uchiha crest was tied around her forehead. "Where are we going?" Sarin asked curiously. Naruko tossed her a small notebook, a bingo book. It was open to a marked page showing Kisame Hoshigeki. "We're meeting someone," Naruko explained. "But you'll be the one to face him." Sarin blinked in surprise, then nodded. "All right. I want to test my new eyes anyway." Later, above a misty lake. Naruko and Sarin stood atop a high cliff overlooking a large body of water. Two cloaked figures awaited them. "Hello, Danzo." "Kisame," Naruko greeted calmly. "This is my sister, Sarin." Danzo's eyes widened slightly before vanishing into a swirling vortex. Naruko frowned. He slipped away again. "Sarin, would you like to handle the other one?" Sarin activated her Sharingan, locking eyes with Kisame. Their sparring match was intense, a whirlwind of elegant swordplay and elemental skills. Sparks flew as metal clashed. Sarin held her ground, her chakra surging with determination. Kisame transformed briefly, summoning a great dome of water. Sarin countered with her Susanoo, adapting to his pace and striking back with precision. Her confidence grew as she kept up with an S-rank opponent. "Time to wrap this up," Naruko called from above. "We don't have much time." Sarin, her chakra nearly drained, transitioned her Susanoo to its lighter form. With a sharp move, she encased the skeletal ribcage in defensive fire. Kisame retreated briefly, injured but still determined. Sarin rained down a flurry of shuriken, then dashed forward, her sword cutting through the air. The battle paused as Kisame, realizing he was outmatched, created a clone and disappeared in a swirl of water. Naruko landed beside Sarin, catching her as she stumbled. "You've done well," Naruko said, supporting her. "Your body just needs rest." She summoned a clone to take Sarin home safely. Elsewhere, near the sealing site. A group of skilled kunoichi, Sakura, Hinata, Ino, and Shizune, focused on sealing the three-tailed beast in harmony. Kakashi and Jiraiya remained hidden under the surface, on standby. A large shadow passed over them, a massive bird circled overhead. Just as they neared completion, kunai rained from above, disrupting the ritual. From the water, Naruko emerged with a calm yet resolute expression. "Apologies," she said gently. "But this isn't your burden to carry." Kakashi and Jiraiya leapt forward to intercept her, engaging in a quick spar. Naruko blocked their strikes with grace, retreating without hostility. "We were under a genjutsu," Jiraiya muttered, stunned. As the three-tailed beast slipped away, Naruko turned her back to the group, following its trail silently. "Wait!" Jiraiya called out, sword ready. Naruko blocked his strike with ease, offering a small smile before gracefully evading. "There are more important things to protect right now," she said, and disappeared into the mist, leaving the others stunned in her wake. With Isabu. As Isabu moved gently through the depths of the lake, a sudden surge of energy lit up the water ahead. Startled, Isabu instinctively recoiled. Emerging from the surface was the real Naruko, her presence calm yet resolute. Chakra chains extended from her hands, wrapping around Isabu, not to restrain, but to soothe. Naruko gazed into the gentle giant's eyes. She knew this would go more smoothly without using advanced techniques like the Sharingan. "Listen," she began sincerely, her tone composed. "I don't have much time, my clone is running out of energy. But if you're willing to trust me, I can take you somewhere peaceful. There's plenty of water, and you'll be free to rest without anyone disturbing you. Except when I need your help in battle," she added with a small, sheepish smile. Isabu responded with a grumble, tossing slightly in the water. "Maybe I should have skipped that last part," Naruko thought with a light chuckle. With focused concentration, she summoned a majestic, giant bird capable of carrying a creature as large as Isabu. Her chakra chains extended to the bird, linking the two. Yes, Isabu. I may call on your strength in times of need, Naruko said warmly. But I promise you'll live in comfort and peace otherwise. As she turned, she noticed figures approaching through the mist. It was the girls from the group, Ino, Sakura, and Hinata. Oh no. The others must be fighting one of her clones, Ino sighed, concern written across her face. Naruko stood tall, front and center in front of Isabu, her expression calm but firm. The two groups locked eyes as the atmosphere grew tense. Shizune, standing behind the girls, calculated their options carefully. I suggest you head back for now. I can't afford any more delays, Naruko said gently, not unkindly. Hinata took a cautious step forward, confidence in her stance. Don't underestimate us, she said, preparing herself. You've already used much of your energy trying to seal my friend, Isabu, Naruko replied, a wry smile tugging at her lips. The energy in the air became heavier. Sakura launched forward, determination on her face. The stronger they are, the harder they fall. Naruko calmly raised her gun by and placed it in front of her. Uchiha reflection, she stated. Sakura's momentum was halted as a chakra-formed mirror image responded, gently deflecting her blow and pushing her back across the water's surface. She got to her feet, slightly shaken but still standing strong. Sakura. The others called out. Without warning, Hinata surged forward with unexpected speed. You're within my range now, she declared. My weapon never needs to recharge, Naruko replied softly. Uchiha reflection. Hinata's technique was reflected in a controlled burst of water, dissolving her form. It had been a clone. Naruko exhaled and summoned her perfect Susanoo, a radiant warrior of chakra. She guided it to prepare a sweeping motion, not intending harm but signaling the end of the standoff. Just as the sweeping energy was released, a blur of motion darted in and whisked the girls to safety. Sasuke Uchiha, surrounded by an aura of determined power, had arrived just in time. Where is Saren? Sasuke asked firmly, eyes scanning the scene. Naruko raised an eyebrow, amused by his boldness. And who might you be to request an audience with my little sister? She asked with a playful smirk. Sasuke Uchiha. You'll want to remember that, he said, activating his own perfect Susanoo. Naruko responded by drawing her blade, the two warriors standing poised, not as enemies, but as powerful shinobi ready to face whatever came next. That's a wrap for this part, everyone. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest uploads. Thanks for watching, your support means everything. Until next time, stay awesome. 6 Path Weeb.